between 2024 and 1994. I'm obviously happy that they won. It was kind of a given. Rangers were clearly the better team. Although honestly, I mean, Capitals put up a little bit of a fight ish. I know I said I thought it would be, it would be 5 games. I figured Capitals would get at least one. Um, but really, once the Rangers got rolling in game one, that was really about it. It was clear that the Rangers were the faster team, the more skilled team. I mean, they just had like the perfect game plan to shut down Ovechkin, who looked honestly absolutely awful in that series. I mean, not only were the Rangers on top of him every time he touched the puck and whatnot, but it really just looked like he absolutely emptied the gas tank in the regular season, getting the Capitals to the playoffs, and just had absolutely nothing left for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a must-see TV in the family household over here, obviously, but I was tuning into some games. I managed to catch a couple of periods while I was at work too, and I was noticing the same thing. You know what it reminded me of? I forget the year, but way back when Martin Brodeur was right about to retire, it was
Mm.
he was way past his prime and everything like that. I remember us going into the first round against who else but the Carolina Hurricanes, and it was game seven. It went to, and I believe we were up 4-1 at one point. Looked like it was going to be easy. Looked like we were going to take it. And Martin Brodeur let go 3 goals in the fourth, and then the final goal in overtime.
Oh man,
And that was just kind of like the decline. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like it's like this is not your hero anymore. Father
Hmm.
time has caught up. So I noticed that a lot with Ovechkin, though. I mean, the legs definitely were not there. He didn't seem as fast as he used to be. There wasn't a lot of zip, and you
Hmm.
lost control of it.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of those games were particularly close. Even
Yeah. I mean, not towards the end anyway. I mean, those 2 games in Washington, the Capitals definitely started the game hot. They came out, feisty. They were fighting, especially in game 4. They were putting a lot of pressure on the Rangers and stuff like that. But once the Rangers were able to kind of get their bearings and settle in and kind of say like, okay, like what the hell are we doing here? Let's just get back to our stuff. All right, we figured out they're playing desperate hockey here. They're going to be coming at us. Let's just you know figure out ways to protect the puck better, keep ourselves moving, and use our speed to our advantage the way we've been doing all season. That's been working for us. And once the Rangers were able to do that, it was pretty much over.
yeah, I mean, it just looked like they ran into the better team. It was just a
Yeah.
buzz straight from the beginning. I mean, I hear a lot of Penguins and Red Wings fans saying, "Well, that's because the Capitals did not deserve to be in." Well, how come you guys weren't there either? I doubt it would have been much better. You guys,
Yeah.
it would have been like if the Capitals or maybe the Islanders or the Red Wings got in there and said it would have been a closer series. Or are you guys just all in? This is our moment. We're the
I
number one
I
seed. Let's go.
no, some people maybe, but I'm trying to stay away from that. And I have my reasons. That is a very, very long explanation if you want to hear it. But um, if it were the Red Wings or the Islanders or the Penguins, potentially it could have been different. Again, the Capitals were kind of that anomaly team. Like they did make it into the playoffs, but they had a horrible, like horribly ridiculous negative like goal differential. Uh, so if it had been the Islanders, the Red Wings, Penguins, anybody else, I think okay, that those teams could have pushed 5, maybe 6 games, but I think the Rangers still would have found a way to win. But yeah, the Capitals looked absolutely just taxed with their top stars, and just showed that they're kind of going through a transition of they're a much younger team than they were years ago when they won the cup, and they don't have a lot of depth and experience right now.
Father Time once again remains undefeated for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
What else you got on the NHL playoffs? I know we started a preview, both of us. You did NHL, I did NBA.
Yes, I did. As far as things are going right now, some of the stuff is looking pretty good. I had, mentioned a 5 game series, Carolina and the Islanders. Carolina has the chance to do that, which would be tomorrow night from when we're recording. That would be Tuesday. They're currently up 3 games to 1, which that could be a completely different series if the Islanders didn't blow a 3 goal lead in game 2.
I saw that. What
Oh
happened?
my God. I have no idea what happened in that game. All I know is I heard at one point they were up, I think, like 3-0, and they ended up losing the game like 5-3 or something like that, or 4-3, whatever it was.
And I mean, in the regular season, that's embarrassing. In the playoffs, that's a backbreaker, man.
Yeah, that's absolute. That's
Yeah.
a series killer right now, because you think if they could have won that game, that series could be potentially tied at 2 right now instead of 3-1 Carolina.
And then it's a 3 game series from here on out.
That is a completely different series, especially considering now they're going to game 5 back in Carolina.
Right.
That is almost a complete and utter doomsday situation for the Islanders.
It's not great. No, Carolina has great fans. They play even better at home.
Yeah.
It's looking like that's going to stay the same. It's going to be a 5 game series. So you nailed that one.
Yeah. The other two in the East, we have Florida and Tampa Bay. I don't remember exactly what I said about this, but it's currently Florida is up 3-1 as we're recording. The Panthers are leading that game 2-1. That game 5. I do remember, though, I kind of talked about it. It's starting to feel like it's becoming kind of that downfall era of the Tampa Bay Lightning dynasty that we saw when they won. I think, what did they do? Like, they won two or three cups in like a 5 or 6 year span or whatever it was. They were on top of the world. But again, it's another team. Stamkos is getting older. They don't have a lot of those, pieces that they have. I believe Andre Palat is gone. Barclay Goodrow is with the Rangers now. Victor Hedman is still there, but he's getting older. But at the same time, I can't really put too much like heat or anything on them, because at the same time they ran into a Florida Panthers team that's just an absolute fucking juggernaut.
One that wants to build on last year, wants to prove that it wasn't a fluke, because it was pretty fluke the way that they got there to the Stanley Cup Finals and everything like that. So this is a team that wanted to make a statement, and how awesome of a statement. And you were talking about Tampa Bay's dynasty window. It's kind of like where it's sunsetting right now.
Mm-hmm.
How poetic that the Battle of Florida is kind of where this all comes to an end. You know what I'm saying? It's the new Florida Panther team coming up and taking on the old guard, and obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, think about what do the Panthers have? Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Vladimir Tarasenko. Like, that team is just absolutely fucking loaded from top to bottom.
They play good hockey
and they play great hockey. It's a team that if the Rangers want to make a run to the Stanley Cup, they're most likely going to have to go through the Panthers. And oh boy, that's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
And that's obviously we'd have to get through Carolina, which I think the Rangers can, but it would be a very tough series. That would most likely, I would think, go 6 or 7, at least 6, probably 7 games. But the other series in the East, we have Boston and Toronto. I talked about Toronto looking to potentially try and get rid of that playoff curse and that stigma of them choking in the playoffs. Well, it ain't happening right now.
Every year.
It ain't happening right now.
It's like the new age Boston Red Sox almost. It's like a joke. It really is, or like the Jets of the of
Yeah,
football. It's they can do whatever they want. They're never going to beat any team because they're just the Maple Leafs.
yeah. Yeah, Boston has really just kind of had their way in that series so far, up 3-1. They're looking for the 5-game ender in that series as well. Out in the West, it looks like that Dallas and Vegas series is turning out to be pretty good. Vegas obviously got a boost as I believe their captain, it is Mark Stone, came back for the playoffs after being out for a few weeks, I believe it was, with a lacerated spleen. But that's, turning out to be a pretty good series. And as far as the other one, I believe I remember mentioning this, that I thought I had heard somewhere that I believe somebody had a pretty good idea that the Winnipeg Jets could potentially be playoff frauds this year in the playoffs.
Not in that stadium. It was so
And
loud. They had the whiteout and everything.
well, I'm not obviously talking about the fans. I'm talking about the players on the ice. Kind of hard to, and I mean, you got to think too. Winnipeg did come in. They won the first game of that series, but then Colorado has really just come out and really kind of shut things down. You got 5-2, 6-2, 5-1 the next 3 games in favor of Colorado. So I
Sounds like
really feel like it's
that
kind of
one
hard
game.
to talk down on the Winnipeg Jets in this series.
Well, you go down 3-1. It's kind of hard to come back from that. But they're going back to Winnipeg, I think, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
I
game
believe.
five Winnipeg. Maybe they can pull it out. Give us one more game in that stadium with the crowd going absolutely bananas, and it's just
Yeah,
white as far as the eye can see. Yeah, that's playoff hockey right there.
yeah. And you got to think too. Like Avalanche are a very good team, but they're also still not at full strength. The Colorado Avalanche are still playing without one of their best players, Gabriel Landeskog, who I
Mm.
don't think has played like at all so far this season due to injury.
Are they planning on getting him back? Like, is he
I,
gonna?
I'm
But
honestly
of
I'm not sure. But just obviously they're still a really good friggin' team. I mean,
course.
you got to think of this team with Nathan McKinnon is ridiculous. Your old friend Zach Parise is on that team. He's still a solid player.
Is that where he went?
Yeah,
Last I checked on him, he was in Staten Island.
yeah, he's in Colorado now. But so yeah, Rantanen is a really good player. That's just it's a really tough team they have there in Colorado. So no disrespect to Winnipeg. It was going to be a tough series either way. Moving on, we have Vancouver kind of taking care of business against Nashville. I think that one's another one. Nashville, a wild card team. Vancouver, division winner. That's just kind of a sense of the better team is winning that series right now.
And they were the Canada team that went on that big heater. I think they won like 15 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is a
something
good
like that.
Vancouver.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle of the season, they went on some crazy. Yeah, it was some crazy streak of either winning or at least getting points in some like ridiculous amount of games straight.
Mhm.
And then the other one I had mentioned, Edmonton, a lot of playoff woes. Yes, they're up 3-1 to the Kings, but I'm not entirely sure what to think about that, because that is, a Division 2-3 matchup. It's not like they're playing a wild card team, but you also have to think that the Kings are another one that aren't exactly the same team that they were years ago. Obviously, Jonathan Quick's not there anymore. I believe Drew Doughty might still be there, but he's old. If Kopitar is still there, he's old. They're like another team that's kind of in a transition period where they're kind of rebuilding a little bit. So obviously I don't want to try and take away anything from the Oilers, but at the same time, I don't know if this is like the best indication of whether or not they're going to be or are finding a way to get over their playoff woes.
No, it's time. It's a time for a deep playoff run. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You can't have Draisaitl and McDavid and not go on a deep playoff run here, and it starts with the Kings.
Yeah, it starts there, but then obviously it looks like they're going to have to go through Vancouver, which is most likely going to be very tough. If they can get past Vancouver and at least make it to the Western Conference Finals, I think at the very least for them, that is a slight win. Obviously, they want to go all the way. They want to make it to the finals. They want to win a cup. But if you can at the very least make it to the Western Conference Finals, I think that's like a start of like where you want to get to.
For sure. But you can't also count out the very last series that you got to talk about. This Vegas team went
Yeah.
3-0 against the Stars. I don't think they closed it, but they're looking
No,
really
it's 2-1. Such a good freaking team they have. With the addition of Jack Eichel, like I said, Mark Stone coming back for the playoffs after being out for a while. Who else they got? Jonathan Marchessault is a really good player. So yeah, we'll see. But like you said, away team has won every game in that season. Dallas is another one of those teams that's over the last few years been a very good regular season team. Hasn't really made much noise in the playoffs. They're really going to be trying hard to get back in this series and even it up and try and get past Vegas.
I'm not gonna make you keep talking about the East, but have you seen anything that changes your mind about the West? Do you think a new team is coming out, or
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be so tough. Like these next two series, and to just see whichever teams make it to the Western Conference Finals are going to be absolutely ridiculous because you're looking at potentially Colorado, you're figuring is going to make it. Whoever they face, whether that's Vegas or Dallas, still kind of up in the air. Looks like it's going to be Vegas versus Edmonton or Vancouver versus Edmonton. Oh, I don't know. This might be honestly one of the first years in I feel like a long time where it's almost not really clear cut either way, east or west. Because you think about it, so say Vegas wins, Colorado, Edmonton, Vancouver, any four of those teams could end up making it out of the West. There's really no clear cut which one I would want to pick. And going up to the next one, you got
what makes a good playoffs.
Yeah, you got Florida, you got Boston, you got the Rangers, you got the Hurricanes. If you could tell me any one of those four were going to make it out of the East, and I would not have to, or I wouldn't argue it because I'd be like, okay, that could make sense.
So weird seeing a team with Carolina attached to their name that's actually competent and like playoff runs every year. It's wild.
Yeah,
David Tepper needs to tap into whatever Brendan Moore is doing.
But yeah, I don't know, man. As much as I'd like to see the Rangers make it's going to be very tough. As far as the West, I would have to go with the playoff experience on that one and lean a little more towards either Colorado or Vegas, whichever one comes out of that potential series.
Colorado or Vegas. I'm going Vegas. Just complete nepotism and everything like that. Like I said, I have a brother who's a huge Golden Knights fan.
Yeah.
So let's go Golden Knights. Back-to-back champs. Why not?
Yeah. I could see that just because, Vancouver and Edmonton just don't have that deep playoff experience like Vegas and Colorado do, who have won Stanley Cups in the last 5 or so years, whatever it's now. But yeah, honestly, like I said, unless you wanted to hear my long, drawn out fucking shit that I'm trying not to.
You know what? You hinted at it in the beginning, and you might as well go for it. So I'm going to be too lazy to edit it out later. So go right ahead. But I think I know where you're going based on our recent conversations. You've been drinking a lot of the script Kool-Aid again.
No, no, it's nothing like that. That's NBA. NHL.
You saved that specifically for NBA. Okay, my
That
bad.
is specifically NBA. This NHL one is more Rangers specific and history specific.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying my hardest not to get caught up into any of it because I know it's going to be very difficult for the Rangers to get through the Hurricanes and then to get through either the Panthers or um, the Bruins, and then to get through whoever comes out of the West if they want to, win the Stanley Cup. But I've seen a couple videos while scrolling through Instagram. I've heard a couple of other things, and the history is just it's freaky, and I'm trying not to get caught up into it. Here it goes. So
We're getting caught up anyway.
in 1994, there was a massive earthquake in California. Did a whole lot of damage. In 2024, wasn't in California, but there was an earthquake in New York. First earthquake in New York since like the 1800s. 1994, there was an eclipse. 2024, there was an eclipse. They took almost the exact same path across the United States.
Hmm.
In 1994, the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers ended their regular seasons with 50-plus wins. In 2024, the Knicks and Rangers ended their regular seasons with 50-plus wins. In 1994, the Knicks got the second seed in the NBA in the Eastern Conference. Rangers won the President's Trophy. 2024, Knicks are the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Rangers won the President's Trophy.
Poor Patrick Ewing.
In 1994, the Rangers swept their first round playoff series. They just swept their first round playoff series.
The earthquake and the eclipse thing was a stretch. I liked it more when you got into like the sports parts of it. That was good. That was good.
And
all that
obviously, 94, the Knicks went to the NBA Finals. Obviously, we don't know if that's going to happen. It's possible. It looks like they're going to make it past the 76ers.
Oh, they will.
It looks like their second round series is going to end up being against the Indiana Pacers, not the Milwaukee Bucks. So you would think that the Knicks would be able to beat the Pacers, which we'll talk about in a minute. Because the last thing I'm going to say is this is something I heard way back in January that I thought nothing of, obviously, until now, was that I had heard on the radio one day, it was probably like the Monday right after New Year's or whatever, that first day I went back to work, Monday and Tuesday after New Year's, or that first week, talking about how calendars from 1994 were becoming very valuable and selling on eBay because there is absolutely no difference in the dates and each day of the week between 1994 and 2024. They line up exactly the same. So we're recording right now on Monday, April 29th, 2024. April 29th of 1994 was a Monday. So like the days line up exactly from 94 and this
year. Is that every 30 years or is that specific?
I'm not sure. Maybe. Okay. But it at least is for this year.
Wow. I don't know, man. Is it? Listen, man, if you need the Knicks to make the finals, I got some bad news for you.
Okay. Go right ahead.
I mean, we could start right there, honestly. Yeah. The Knicks played yesterday as of this recording. We are recording Monday, April 29th, like you said. The Knicks are up 3-1 against the 76ers. I gave this game 5 or 6, and I'm going to stick by that. I'm going to shorten it down to 5. I don't really think that once this goes back to New York, especially after Game 4, where like all the fans came out.
Oh yeah,
New York absolutely humbled Philadelphia in their own
yeah.
stadium. There's just no fight left in that team. I don't expect it to go past Game 5. That should be a
What?
wrap.
No more nut shots from Embiid.
I mean, Embiid will get all the nut shots in that he wants. He's just how bad
They're
have
not calling it. Well, I
how
mean,
bad
they
the
are
playoff
calling it, but they're
series.
not calling it as they should.
No, they definitely aren't calling it as they should. He's been getting away with a lot, and that
Yeah,
sucks because it kind of exposes a little bit of the backside part of the NBA, and a
yeah.
lot why you and a lot of other people give the NBA such
And
hate.
it's the player preference or whatever.
Right. Like, what are you going to do? People are tuning into this playoff game to see one of five guys. It's Joel Embiid on the
Yeah,
76ers and it's Brunson on the Knicks. How are we going to kick Embiid out of this game? You know what I'm saying? Now, that being said, if Embiid's giving nut shots and this is a fair sport, kick that dude out. It doesn't matter
yeah.
what he's
Get him out because
But
you think about it. Think about this. This is like the big thing that's been going around. If that had been Draymond Green, not Joel Embiid, they would have like brought out a guillotine at halftime and like chopped off his hand.
okay, but if it was Steph Curry,
They'd
this
probably let him get away with it.
no, but this is what I'm saying. The
But see,
guys that
that's
you
the
tuned
thing.
in
I don't
for,
think Steph Curry would ever stoop that low. Like,
no, of
I'm
course not.
saying Embiid is a dirty player, but they were dirty plays. And it just, I understand you're fighting for your life in the playoffs and whatnot, but you gotta stoop to that?
Yeah, embarrassing.
Oh man, yeah,
And how bad of a playoff series has anybody had other than Joel Embiid, other than the stat sheet, which is really the only thing that we should be talking about? The dude's putting up like 35 points a game. I think he
yeah,
put 50 in the one win
he
that
did,
they.
yeah,
But so we really should be celebrating this like generational center that is like one of two of the best in the league. And instead, all we're talking about is his nut shots and his dirty play because I don't know. The playoffs started. He
I,
said, this is the Knicks, and we're rivals, and we usually beat them up. So now that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat them up, and it
yeah,
works when you're winning. But when you're losing, you look the worst. You look
yeah,
like idiot.
it looks bad, bad
Yeah.
look.
PR wise, this could not have gone any worse for Joel Embiid. But
No,
I expect that to wrap up in 5. And I don't expect that going that much farther. The Clips and the Mavericks are up next on my phone, at least. I call that a very close 7 game
yeah,
series. And man, oh man, it has not disappointed. It is
no,
like that.
yeah,
These two teams are absolutely inseparable. Kyrie Irving is doing amazing Kyrie Irving things with the ball. He makes me not want to hate him so much. He makes me not want to hate him so much, but I can't. I'm not going to do it, and I'm not starting now.
yeah. Wait until the second round when he says his ankle hurts and he's sitting on the bench or something like that.
Playoff P's coming out, and he's
Yeah,
not having any kind of injury issues or anything. Kawhi Leonard was out, but I think that actually helped the Clippers because I think he was playing injured those first 2 games that they lost, or the 2 games that the Clippers did lose. He looked pretty ugly in them, so I think this might be what he actually needs a little bit. Give him some rest. Don't let him sit out this entire series. I don't think that you can beat the Mavs like that, but let's get this guy off of his ankle so that he can actually play a little bit because he was definitely hurting the Clippers beforehand. I got the Mavs in 7, only just because, like I said, there are some injury issues starting to creep up just a
mm-hmm.
little bit. And at the end of the day, it just ball style wise, it's almost a matter of preference. Do you like the gritty, grinding, defensive clutch play of James Harden and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, or do you like the kind of more fancy passing and
Mm-hmm.
touch play of Luka and Kyrie?
And
I
then, of course,
prefer
you have to, take the exemption of defense on James Harden because he doesn't know how to play it.
well, he plays against his team.
That's
He
true.
blocks Paul George's three. He blocks Paul George's three. It's pretty damn well. I don't
Yeah, he tries to
know.
block shots of his own teammates. That,
Uh,
that was pretty hysterical.
so yeah, I'm gonna stick with what I said before. I think I chose the Mavs in 7. I'm gonna stick with that. But yeah, it's gonna be real close, and it's been a hell of a series. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
one series to watch. It's this one.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Bucks and the Pacers. This one I was dead wrong on. I didn't think that the Bucks would choke as of yet, but the injury bug bit. Giannis was out. Dame fell the last two games, and it's just been the Chris Middleton show. And these last two games, he was even coming up lame, coming up limping a little bit, dogging, going back on defense, just really sweating out those plays and everything like that. Yeah, if you injure the entire Milwaukee Bucks, that's probably a good way to
to win that series. Yeah,
advance on in the series. So I didn't expect that, did not see that coming, but good for the Pacers, man. This is going to give them a lot of good playoff experience. I don't think that it is going to. I have them closing out the series only because I don't think that the Bucks backup squad can win, can stay undefeated in 3 straight games. So
yeah,
I see that happening. Maybe they could get 1, maybe 2, but I think that a more complete Pacers squad is going to close that out, and they will go up and play against the Knicks. I don't know how much this experience is going to help them. I think the Knicks are definitely a better team, but this is a nice little feather in the cap. Hey, we beat our first round. We've been here, and now maybe we can build on it. The next one is the only one I think that is over.
Yeah,
that's sweeping the Suns. I gave Phoenix 1, and they couldn't even do that. So just
Anthony Edwards, man, he came out in these playoffs with the combined mentality of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan of just this is my court. I'm the fucking man. I'm going to rip your head out. I'm going to just pull your organs out of you and dismember you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop me.
Absolutely agreed. And the fact that he is sitting there, he wants defensive duties on Kevin Durant. He wants to face off against his mentor and beat him at his own game. And he did 4 straight times. Embarrassed the dude, sunned him.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure to see, really. This is definitely Anthony Edwards' coming out party. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for quite some time. He might be him. It's looking pretty strange out west with the top 3 teams. OKC, Denver, and Minnesota. Really?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Really? Am I reading that right? But no, yeah, it's going to be some fun times out west. Thank God we have Anthony Edwards and we can watch that.
Early prediction.
Here we go.
Early prediction for next season. Anthony Edwards will be in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, I'm down for that. He can be MVP 2 or 3, unless he absolutely goes bananas.
Yeah.
SGA still needs 1. I think next year's going to be it's his turn next year, because we got ripped off of all the NBA awards because we play in Oklahoma, but that's for another podcast. Next up, we have the Celtics and the Heat. This is another one that kind of took me by surprise, not so much in fact that I think that the Heat are going to give them any kind of a push or anything, but in the fact that the Heat actually won a game, which good for them. If you break the franchise record in threes, you can beat the Boston Celtics. You're not going to do that 4 straight games, but hey, congratulations on your win. I'm sure.
Especially because Jimmy Butler's not playing.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's not playing either. But they are currently going on right now as we are recording this. Last time I checked, it was like a 20-point lead. I'm not sure where they're at right now. But yeah, I don't think that the Heat are going to get another one. That's going to end in 5. Then we have my Thunder.
Oh, God. Yeah, they're getting blown out.
Oh, it's getting bad, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's getting bad.
And we have my Thunder taking care of business against the 8 seed Pelicans. Nothing really to talk about there. I don't want to talk about it too much or give hype too much praise on them. They're beating a team without Zion Williamson, and when he does play, he is extremely injured. This is a number 1 seed versus a number 8 seed. This is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We're up 3-0. The game starts, I believe, in a little bit. I'm not sure.
It has started already.
And I expect it to end tonight. This is exactly what a 1 seed is supposed to do to an 8 seed. I don't want to hear about inexperience. That's what everybody's telling us. That's why nobody's taking Oklahoma City seriously. Wrap it up, wash your hands, and let's get ready for whoever's up next.
Well, by your prediction, it would be the Mavericks.
Mavericks?
Yes.
That's going to be a tough one. We'll preview that when we get there, though. Lakers and Nuggets are up next. Again, another one that's going to be easy. I said it would be a gentleman's sweep. I gave the Lakers one, and it's looking like that's exactly what it's going to be. They shouldn't have won Game 4. It should have been. It should have been a regular sweep,
Yeah.
but it's just a Herculean effort to get that monkey off their back, and I think they lost to the Denver Nuggets 16 straight times or something.
Yeah, until that game, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure that was driving LeBron out and AD and crew absolutely crazy. They wanted to get that monkey off their back. Congrats. Enjoy Cancun, LeBron.
Yeah, because everything about the Lakers play on the court, the way they've handled it off the court has all been absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah,
embarrassing.
Absolutely. We were about a last podcast. You were saying he LeBron's definitely been amping up the crying a lot this playoffs.
Oh yeah, he has.
Yeah, do what you gotta do when you're playing a very, very clearly better team than you. Just in almost every position too. It hasn't been close. I mean, it has, but look at the score. It's 3-1. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, to go to the point that your two best players are walking out of their post-game press conferences. Come on, that's just
what happened to this game?
Any other superstar player, past or present, nobody would have done. Not even Kevin Durant, after getting embarrassed by the Timberwolves, did that. He sat there, went through his whole post-game press conference.
Took it like a champ.
He took it like a champ.
Yeah,
and he got Anthony Davis coming up to this podium. Jamal Murray hit a shot. Like, what is that, bro? What are you doing?
It's embarrassing.
That is ridiculous.
It is. It's embarrassing. You can't even give the guy kudos because it was such a great shot and everything.
I know.
I understand you can be a little butthurt. You just blew a 20-point lead.
Yeah.
And you actually, I don't know if you saw the aftermath of him, Jamal making that shot. AD completely sold out to make that. So, momentum had to carry him somewhere, and it sure did, right into the middle of the Nuggets bench.
Yeah, bench mobbing Jamal Murray after he hit the shot.
No. Laying there inside of a mob that's celebrating the fact that you just missed that defensive stop, probably
pretty embarrassing.
Probably not great. Yeah, I wouldn't be in the best of moods either. But do your press conference. Don't go out there acting like.
Because I'm pretty sure that's literally all he said before walking out.
Yeah. Do you wanna walk us through what happened on that final play? And he's like, Jamal Murray made a shot.
And then he walked off.
Cry baby.
And LeBron James is kind of doing the same thing. Like, they were down 3-0, and he's just sitting there. Well, at the end of the day, it's just basketball. Like, dude, you're down 3-0. Like, what are you doing?
But yeah, I guess to wrap it up, the last one is something that is a series that I'll be honest with you. I haven't caught a lot of. I've caught a couple of quarters in like 3 of these games, but I haven't really seen them all the way through. This is the NBA TV series, which is kind of a derogatory name that is getting thrown around for talking about just the least important in the first round series. It always gets shoved off to NBA, and that's kind of a shame, only because the Magic are a really cool team. They are playing a lot better than I would have given them credit for. They're taking this inexperience and they're just playing really good defensive ball. And it's something that I like to see. Now, the Cavaliers have been playing with injuries and everything like that. And I think that's why the series has been a lot closer. I said Cavs in 5 or 6. The series is tied 2-2, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I might have to edit that or take that loss. I think the Magic can pull this out. I think that they can. We're going back into Cleveland. If you could keep that game close, as long as it's not a blowout, I could see him taking this to 7 at least.
All right. Yeah.
That's a lot for the Magic.
Yeah. Kudos to the Orlando Magic, man. Very just kind of young, exciting team. Just kind of going out there. But I feel like that's kind of the thing, though. Like everybody always says, like, oh yeah, experience is key. Experience is key. And like, yeah, that would apply if you were facing a team that had a lot of playoff experience as well, which the Cleveland Cavaliers don't necessarily have outside of Donovan Mitchell.
You're absolutely right on that, and I had mentioned that on our previous podcast. These are two teams with not a lot of experience, so it kind of plays into both hands pretty well. You'd think I would have thought that Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. I mean,
Yeah.
this is kind of a little bit more established star power than what the Magic are working with. But hey, that's why you play all 82, right?
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, the Magic are looking really good, man. I definitely took them for granted. Now, granted, the reward for possibly, and you don't even want to call it an upset because it's the 4-5 seed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not really an upset, but the reward for coming out of this series is going right into the Boston Buzzsaw. Um, yeah, it's not looking good
Yeah.
for these teams. I don't think
No,
I even want to come
not at
out.
all.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it'll go to seven.
Yeah, neither
Oh,
team
no,
wants.
you play Boston. No,
You
you
go
play
play
Boston.
Boston.
It could be that. Now I'm
It could
joking.
be.
Obviously, all teams want to play and think that they have a chance to win, but uh, they're whoever's coming out of this is losing in four for sure.
Since we haven't talked about it yet, it has passed. The NFL draft has come and gone, and I will say this because I do know some Jets fans. Hey, Jets fans, it looks like the Jets are no longer the laughingstock franchise of the NFL.
Stop it. We do this every year. They ramp up every single year in the offseason. They ramp up. They make a bunch of nice plays. They make a bunch of nice picks in the draft, or somebody gets really excited about somebody coming out of college, or maybe they got a cool free agent, and then they jets it all up. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to jets it all up.
I'm just saying they're not the laughingstock of the NFL anymore.
No, now it's the
That
Atlanta
now belongs to the Falcons, who signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million contract a couple months ago, and then go out in the first round of the NFL draft. I think, what did they have, like the 11th overall pick or something? I think it was
eighth.
Eighth overall pick.
In one of the most talented draft classes in recent memory, by the way. This wasn't a scrub class. It wasn't like in the NBA what they're dealing with, where it's like, do any of these guys really have top talent? Can any of this translate into the NFL? No, this class is 3 rounds deep. Okay, but go ahead.
And they go ahead, and instead of trading down for more picks or picking somebody to make their team better, a lot of people I've seen on ESPN stuff and other sports show clips that I've seen on Instagram picking an edge rusher, which is like a desperate need for them. They draft Michael Penix Jr., a quarterback, and not just any quarterback, the oldest quarterback in the draft. It's not this kid's not 21 years old like a junior coming out of college. This guy's 24.
Oft injured, coming off a torn ACL.
And according to the Falcons, either the owner or the GM or whoever that are not communicating.
It wasn't the owner, I'll tell you that.
And I think it was the owner. I think it was the owner said that he wishes nobody else would be in the war room with him so he could just do everything by himself. Said that the plan is for him to not start until year 4. So why did you pick a 24-year-old quarterback if you're not planning to start him until he's like 28 or 29? How the hell are you going to evaluate him for another contract by that point?
I don't think that you can trust anything that the Atlanta Falcons are saying at this point because they're just trying to save face with both camps. I don't know what the Falcons game plan was. I really don't know because no matter what way you look at it, it's stupid. It's really it's like, well, we really fell in love with Penix. Okay, then why'd you give Kirk Cousins $140 million?
Yeah, $180 million.
Yeah. Why'd you do that 2 months ago if you really fell
Yeah,
in love with him? You didn't fall in love with him within these past 2 months. You guys have been watching him probably for years now at this point,
yeah,
right? But
probably.
I mean, and just no matter what way you look at it. And then Cousins came out and said that he was shocked and that
Yeah,
he was like
like nobody
frustrated.
said anything to him. Like,
So that now they got to save face and say, "Oh, well, this is 4 years down the line." Okay, well, if it's 4 years down the line, why'd you pick the oldest guy that's also really
yeah,
heavily injured? Nobody knows. I have no
nobody
clue.
knows.
I have no
Nobody knows.
clue. No matter what, it's one of the. They could have traded down. They could have taken Bo Nix, which would have
Yeah.
made a little bit more sense if they're really like, if you really want to draft a backup quarterback in the first round of an extremely talent heavy draft class. First of all, what's wrong with you? But second of all, like, fine, let's do that. But why take like out of a 24-year-old who's oft injured and needs work versus a 21-year-old in Bo Nix who kind of plays like Oregon plays kind of a West Coast style NFL
Hmm.
ready offense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
Bo Nix has said Bo Nix. I mean, scouts all around the league say that the guy with the best feet in the draft was Bo Nix, right? And that it was better than Caleb Williams. It was better than JJ McCarthy. It was better than Jaden Daniels. It was Bo Nix. So, like, if this guy's got NFL talent, now he's got a lot to work on with his arm and his motions and everything, and his reading and everything like that. But all I'm saying is he's way younger. He's got the NFL talent that you're looking for. If you need to start him in an injury spot and everything like that, I know
Fine. Yeah,
it made no
yeah.
sense.
Made absolutely no sense to me.
Do you like
Whatsoever.
anybody that the Cowboys picked? I know you guys traded down, I believe, right?
I guess at some point, I think they made their original first round pick. I know a lot of people weren't high on it. Uh, but they drafted an offensive lineman. Again, if there's one position that Jerry Jones knows now that I am aware, which I wasn't for the longest time, that he was an offensive lineman in college. And, the Cowboys have a very good history of drafting offensive linemen and people saying, what the hell? What do you mean? And all of a sudden, Travis Frederick could have been a Hall of Famer if not for medical issues. Last year, Tyler Smith, everybody was saying, well, what do you mean? Why did they reach for this guy? What are they talking about? The dude was an absolute fucking dog last year. And he's going to be on the left side of that offensive line, whether it's left tackle or left guard. We're not sure. But either way, he's played both positions. He's done very well at them. So at this juncture, I don't see any reason to doubt that this kid could also turn out to be a productive starting offensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah, you got to give Jerry Jones credit where credit is due. He knows how to build a good offensive line. Probably
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, he played. I don't know if I want to put it all on that, but regardless, whatever it is, you can't argue with results. And I do believe, like you said, maybe it was last episode, maybe it was a few episodes ago, but you did have linemen that you needed to replace there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
No, I mean, it might not be the sexiest position and everything like that, but it will help you guys in the long run, especially big old Zeke Elliott coming.
yeah. Coming back. Yep.
His old, slow ass needs some good lineman to clear out a good path for him. You might need a pickup truck size path for him to get through at this point, but hey,
Hey, maybe they're signing him to be their new center.
yeah, yeah, or a fullback. Hey, fullback. Why
I
not?
mean, hey, he's played center for one snap in the NFL before, in like the stupidest freaking play I ever saw them try to run. And I think that was in the playoffs too, wasn't it?
You know what? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure that was in the playoffs, and he lined
Took a
up at
snap at
center, and
center. How do I not remember this?
oh god, yeah. If you don't remember, go look it up. It was ugly. I'm pretty sure it was a playoff game against the 49ers, and the Cowboys tried to run like some trick play at the end of the game because they needed to try and score, and they had Zeke snapping the ball to Dak, and it was just an absolute
Disaster class.
oh god, it was just it was a circus.
Not great. Okay, so he can't snap the ball, but maybe like he's big enough. So let's make him like a decent blocking tight end, a la Mercedes Lewis or something like that. Hey, why not, right? But
I don't know. We'll see.
anybody else that stuck out for you in the later rounds?
I don't know. I looked at the names and stuff like that. You know, position wise, I think they did pretty good for the most part.
Phil
But
Mays,
it's all, you know. Well, you're gonna have to wait and see. That's it.
yeah. Giants wise, we went. I mean, I'm just gonna do the first three because after, like you said, 4 through 7, yeah, you could even stretch in three in there. Three is kind of like right at the borderline, but 4 through 7 is absolutely a lottery pick at that point.
Yeah.
Uh, Crapshoot. You hope you get somebody good, but you're probably not. You're probably gonna get a backup. So 1 through 3 was Malik Neighbors out of LSU, Tyler Nubin, the safety out of Minnesota, and Drew Phillips, the cornerback out of Kentucky. All positions of need. Yeah, I mean, how can you not get excited about Malik Neighbors? Now, I can understand. There are a lot of Giants fans that are like, this is the best wide receiver that we've had in quite some time. And might, if he pans out and plays well and is like a true number one star wide receiver, the Giants have never had that before. Not in my memory. Not in the 30 years that I have watched this team. You could talk Plaxico Burris, okay? But like even when Plaxico Burris was catching all those balls for us when we were in the Super Bowl and we were in the playoffs those years, what was he, top 10? A top 10 wide receiver? We've never had that elite class wide receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Odell Beckham in his first and second year, he was flirting with that a little bit, but those were bad. Those were bad Giants teams. It's not like it ever really helped us. This could be our guy. This could be our Megatron and stuff like that. That's cool. Now, my expectations are tempered because Daniel Jones is still throwing us the ball, throwing him the ball. You know? And I'm not. There's two camps in Giants Nation. You either love this guy, or you, for whatever reason, love this guy and say we didn't build around him and everything like that. We never gave him the chance to succeed. Just give him a chance. Let's try and build a team around him. Or you're like, I have seen this guy for 4 years. If I see him snap another ball in Giants blue, I'm blow my brains out. So I'm kind of somewhere in the middle on that. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely not the worst option that we could have. I would much rather have him starting quarterback over Drew Lock, who is our backup right now. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, you
What,
know,
what about Tommy Cutlet?
Tommy Cutlets, he was never a reliable starter. He was never going to be a viable option, a realistic option. Tommy Cutlets could start in the NFL. The meteor could crash through my window right now and annihilate me. Both of those things could happen in the realm of possibility for sure. But I'm still sitting here, and Tommy Cutlets is still not starting. If DeVito's taking snaps under center in 2024, 2025, you might need to find a new podcast partner. It'll be dire straits over in New York, and I don't know how well I'll be taking it. But Tyler Newman, the boy the safety out of Minnesota, was the highest rated safety.
Yeah,
And
a lot of people, I heard that they were saying that's like the steal of the draft that the Giants got there.
The highest rated safety in this class. If he plays like he did in college, that is for sure a great Xavier McKinney fill-in, who we lost. He went over to Green Bay because we wanted to sign Brian Burns instead. And then we got Drew Phillips out of Kentucky. He's smaller, a little bit, but he presses really well, very fast, and he's going to give some help. He probably would play in slot because I know that we have Dion Banks right now, who's probably going to start in as our number one. And number two, that's kind of up in the air. It might be Cordell Flott. Maybe he was our slot last year. So it's not looking good at our number two spot. So if Drew Phillips can come in and even just make Flott, care about the position a little bit more, work on each, get better by competing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long road. It's a long road. Now, I'm not going to say that we win the Super Bowl. I'm not even going to say that we're a playoff team at this point. But I think that today right now, after the draft class, the New York Football Giants are a better team than we were before this draft class. And hey, that's all you could do. One step at
Yeah,
a time, put one foot in front of the other.
that's it.
So there's 6 quarterbacks that went in this draft and the first round.
Yes.
Not all of them are going to be great. Who's your bust? Other than Penix, because we know that. Come on.
All right, so you had Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels,
To Washington,
Drake May,
the Patriots.
Bo Nix went first round.
Bo Nix went to the Broncos, and then McCarthy went to the Vikings.
McCarthy to the Vikings. So excluding Penix, so we got those 5. I mean, honestly, I've heard so much of a mixed bag about Caleb Williams, but with the fact that he's got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome, however you pronounce his last name, if that offensive line is at all competent, I think he's set up to succeed. Drake May, it's a tough situation. It's a new regime in New England, so that's kind of a wild card. You don't really know.
Also, I believe the plan, and I'm not 100% on this. If you want to fact check me, you can. But I believe Jared Mayo said that Jacoby Bryce is getting the start.
Okay,
They're going to sit with Drake May for a year.
That makes a lot of sense. I just don't really know enough about these players, but just going based off of what I've heard, I feel like if there's going to be a bust, it's probably going to be J.J. McCarthy.
Wow, that's a shocker.
Just because from what I've heard at Michigan, he really didn't throw the ball that much. So do we even know if he's able to, pass the ball at an NFL level?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure you or I could be a competent quarterback in Minnesota at this point. I don't really think that it has anything to do with JJ McCarthy's talent. And that's what we got to kind of watch out for as Giants fans, because McCarthy was on the board when we were on the clock. And McCarthy is going to succeed in Minnesota. I'm telling you that right now. I think he's going to be the best rookie quarterback, the quarterback to have the best rookie year. I'm not going to say he's the best quarterback in the class, because obviously Caleb Williams, Jaden McDaniels, they have the potential to be great, elite. Okay. Mm-hmm. But JJ McCarthy is going to have the best rookie year out of the draft class. They've got a running back that's coming from Green Bay that is going to be running very, very mad. Okay. He's got Justin Jefferson to throw to. Okay, just close your eyes and go like this. He'll get under it. I promise you. They've got a great defense down there, a great young defense down there in Minnesota. Don't forget, early in the beginning of the year, this Minnesota defense was so good. They were trying to resurrect the Purple People Eaters nickname. So they're going to be building on that. They've got a plan now at quarterback. It's not old Kirk Cousins and everything like that. And I'm telling you, close your eyes and just throw it to where Justin Jefferson was the last time you saw him. Okay, I bet you he catches it. If not, just keep it. And so you said he doesn't really hand the ball off a lot.
No, he hands the ball off a lot. He doesn't throw it.
He doesn't throw the ball a lot. That was because I think Michigan had a game where they ran the ball 32 times. So it was just handoff after handoff.
That's pretty much all he did at Michigan.
That's fine. They have the running back to do that and the offensive line to do that now. So I think as far as like quarterbacks that were set up to succeed, it's Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy. And I think JJ McCarthy has just nobody's named Justin Jefferson over by where in Chicago where they play. Otherwise, I would give it to Caleb Williams. But I think JJ McCarthy could have a really good rookie year.
All right, but I mean, we're talking about potentially the best trio of receivers in the league next year with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and obviously the rookie's kind of an unknown. He's a first-round draft pick. But Keenan Allen and DJ Moore?
Romo Duse playing in the slot is scary, man.
Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous. Because I'm sorry, but Keenan Allen is one of the most slept on wide receivers in the entire NFL.
Who the Bears got running the ball now?
DeAndre Swift.
Is it DeAndre Swift?
I think it. I think it is. I think they signed DeAndre Swift.
Another
If I'm
cross
not.
division rival that's going to be running angry. That's really fun. The NFC North is going to be a really fun division. Yeah, the brand new Lions with Jared Goff making deep playoffs run. You got deep playoff runs. You got Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers just filling in for Aaron Rodgers. It's business as usual up in Green Bay. You got Caleb Williams and Romo Dunze trying to put their stamp on
Yeah,
Chicago.
it's
JJ McCarthy and
DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, man. I don't know. That NFC North is gonna be really fun.
Oh, and not to mention Cole Kmet at tight end. Oh, and they have Gerald Everett now too. That's two solid tight ends.
That NFC North, man. Yeah, that's four teams right there that all like you can make an argument for all four teams to come out on top in that division.
We can get to some more baseball as of next week since we won't have really any NFL stuff to talk about.
No, it's gonna be mostly them coming in for practice and
Yeah, pretty much.
so
So let's get to our weekly
oh late connections.
Bay connections. All right. So this week
No.
we have Nas Reed,
Nas Reed. I love me.
Noah Clowney, Elgin Baylor,
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bobby Portis,
Mm-hmm.
Gail Goodrich, LeBron James, De'Aaron Fox, Colin Sexton, Brandon Miller, Jerry West, Norman Powell, Herb Jones, Trey Young, Wilt Chamberlain, and Malik Monk.
So, all right. So here we go. Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Gail Goodich, and Wilt Chamberlain are all really old players that played for the Lakers, right? Didn't Elgin Baylor play for the Lakers?
I believe at some point he might have.
I know Gail Goodrich did. I know
Jerry
Jerry
West
West.
obviously did. Wilt did. Elgin Baylor, I'm not positive. I mean, he very well could have, but I don't know.
Right.
But that would make sense because the first thing I thought of potentially was with Noah Clowney and Brandon Miller because they're both rookies, but nobody else here is a rookie.
Brandon Miller. Herbert
Yeah,
Jones.
Brandon Miller, Noah Clowney, but those are the only two.
Do we know who Herbert Jones is?
Yeah,
Because he
he
could be
plays for the Pelicans. I don't think he's a rookie. I think he's in like his second year.
All right, yeah. So try that. Like I said, I'm not sure about Elgin Baylor, but I know the
All
other
right,
three definitely did.
all right, let's give that a shot.
There
Oh,
you go.
played for the 71,
72
72 Lakers. There we go.
Awesome. Nailed it. So that's a
Oh,
bummer because I thought if we were gonna miss that to throw LeBron in there to be
yeah,
or some shit like that.
something.
So Nas Reed and Bobby Portis are both kind of the same type of player. They're really good big man, six
Yeah,
man.
the sixth man, big man, rebounder type players.
Does anybody
Um,
fit into that, do you think?
I'm just trying to think. The only
I don't know who Noah Clowney is.
no, he was a rookie for the Nets this year.
Okay.
The one other one that I'm kind of seeing a similarity potentially in is De'Aaron Fox, Trey Young, Norman Powell, and Giannis have all been on the same team for the longest amount of time.
Wow, that's actually a really good one. Yeah. No, you could. Ooh.
I don't know if that would be one though. But those four have all played for their respective teams for like the longest amount of time out of the rest of these guys, I believe.
And also, I believe no other team. So that could definitely be one.
They gave us hints now. Let's just look. Sixth man of the year voting leaders.
Okay, Nas Reed definitely because he
Okay.
won. Bobby Portis.
Portis, Malik Monk, and Norm Powell.
Yeah, sure, go with that.
Because obviously he's a starter. He's a starter. He definitely wasn't there. Those guys are starters. I don't think it was. The only other option would be Herb Jones, but
all right, let's do it.
All right. Hey, there we go.
All right.
All righty.
Let's go.
We can finish this.
All right, so do the young guns. Do the young guns first.
So we have Noah Clowney, Brandon Miller are both rookies. Herb Jones and Colin Sexton are younger.
Not rookies.
But not rookies. It could have something to do with where they went to college.
Okay, so wait, do Giannis?
Yeah, no. Giannis didn't go to college.
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to know who went to Alabama. So we definitely didn't go to Alabama.
Yeah, so he didn't go there. He didn't go there. He didn't go there.
Colin Sexton? No, the Sexton definitely went.
Is it Trae Young maybe? Did he not go to Alabama? Or is it Brandon Mill? I don't know. So these three definitely didn't. I don't know where Noah Clowney went to college. I know he was on the Nets, but I have no idea where he went to college.
I'm going to rack my brain during that draft. I remember them announcing the trade for Luka trade and everything like that. I'm trying to think if I can remember the little thing.
Oh, yeah, where he went to college. I don't remember. I don't know if it was Alabama.
Try Trae.
All right, let's try Trae. See if that gives us the other one.
Yeah. Oh.
First quarter points per game leaders this season. So we got our guys that went to Alabama.
All right, we did it.
Let's go. Hey, we used a couple of hints, but we still got it.
No, that's a W is a W.
We used the hints, but we still had to figure out which people fit in the categories.
Absolutely, man. Do not downplay that. That's awesome. I like how we did that.
I mean, we did get you got that obvious one without the hint. You said, "Oh, these guys all played for the Lakers." So there you go.
Yeah, the old heads for the Lakers. I like how we went to Alabama by just doing guys that we
doing the other one. Yeah, the people we knew didn't go to Alabama. Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do. It's like, all right, we don't know who went to Alabama, but we know these guys definitely didn't go to Alabama. So
I'm very iffy on my college basketball
me too. Yeah. Me too.
Unless you went for like some kind of historic run or something like that, or did something crazy, I'm not going to know what before.
Like I said, outside of Giannis, obviously international. LeBron came straight out of high school.
Right.
De'Aaron Fox, I just happen to know, is one of the Kentucky guys. And Trae Young, honestly, I have no idea where he went to college. Obviously, wasn't Alabama, but I don't know where.
I had a funny feeling that Brandon Miller did, but I wasn't entirely sure, which made me go to Trae Young because I knew I was going between either Trae or Brandon Miller, and I was like, let's go Trae.
Let's go Trae.
Okay, it worked. Actually, let's see where he went to college because I'm kind of curious now. Okay. I remember that trade, the trade for Luka trade.
The trade Luka and Trae Young, but I don't know where he went to college.
Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma. I would not have remembered that.
No, me neither.
Whether or not I would have gotten that. But hey, you know what? It counts.
It counts. We got the W.
All right, so next week.
All right. So next week, we got some.
We're going to be into the second round of the NBA playoffs, so I could get my previews on that.
Yep. Hockey might be into the second round. I guess it mostly depends on how much longer some of these series go. I don't know if they have a specific date when they're going to start. I think it just, whenever a series is ready or something like that, I think they give them a few days.
Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3 days after the last series wraps up for basketball.
Yeah, the hockey might be similar.
So yeah, the second round will definitely, if not have started, it will be starting. We'll know who's there. I can definitely get my preview for that. I will be all ready for that. Baseball, we're going to be deep into right into
Yeah,
the
we'll
middle
be
of
into
May.
May, so we'll be past at least the first month of the season.
Maybe we'll have some new Alvarez news. Maybe Senga will be making an appearance soon.
Yeah, we'll see. But other than that, you're gonna do your thing with wherever you put the stuff.
That's right. And yeah, just to wrap up, like we were saying before, football, unless there's like some really big news that comes out, I don't really expect us to do much of football until the preseason kicks around. Just because there's not really going to be anything to talk about. But thanks so much for joining us for another episode. This is historic episode number 10, by the way.
Oh, wow. Nice.
We're a decade in. We've been doing pretty good stats wise, especially for podcasts. We've been down. We were down actually last episode, but otherwise we've generally been trending up and in a good direction. So guys, following.
Especially when you put out those shorts, those tend to get a lot of views.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which makes sense. People don't really necessarily want to sit down and watch full episodes nowadays, unless they're sitting in the car or something like that. But the shorts are always a good idea.
I want to try and do at least one a day, but you could definitely get in on those two.
Yeah, I'll have to work on that. I got stuff going on with baseball and things like that. I'm kind of busy, but I'll work on getting some other stuff in there when I have some random thoughts.
Absolutely. Until we start making money on this, we do have jobs to keep up on and everything like that. But thanks so much, guys. All of our stuff is down here. Please like, subscribe, comment, follow us, follow the show. It really helps. If you comment, we will definitely shout you guys out. It'll give us a new topic to talk about. We love talking sports. We're going to be here until somebody stops us. So we will catch you guys next week. Peace.
But does it have to be down there? It feels kind of inappropriate pointing down there, doesn't it?
It makes sense during the video. I know it doesn't now, but yeah, it adds up. Don't worry.
All right, we'll see you next time.
I'll see you next week.
Yep.
Cut it.